What's up guys, my name is Ace, and just like always at launch with a Call of Duty game, one of the biggest questions I get asked is, what is the best gun, or what are the best guns in the game? So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing what I consider to be the top 5 guns currently at launch in Black Ops Cold War based on the stats, as well as based on just me using the gun and how I like the gun and how the gun feels in my hands. So this is going to be partially objective and partially subjective, so it's totally okay if you guys disagree with this list, but I think most people that have played the game a decent amount and played around with a lot of the guns, if not all of them, you're likely going to agree with many of the guns on this list. Now, just a quick disclaimer before we get into this, I highly encourage you guys to use a wide variety of weapons and play around with a little bit of everything to find out what works best for you. Even though these guns might be the top 5 best guns for me and for a lot of other people, maybe there's a particular gun out there that just suits you and your playstyle perfectly, and it's not going to be on this list. And you won't be able to find that if you don't play around with other guns and try them out for yourself. But let's hop into it, and first up, when looking at these guns objectively and comparing them, the 3 key stats that I tend to look at the most are going to be time to kill. This is an extremely important stat. Also recoil, because even if you have a great time to kill, it won't really matter much if you can't stay on target and hit your shots. And then also your general handling stats, like your aim down sight time and your sprint out time. So that's why I started off with my analysis, and then I went in and actually played with all these guns to find out which ones felt the best to me. And starting it off with number 5 on my list here, this is the Type 63. This is a tactical rifle. It's a semi-auto. And it was very good in the alpha and in the beta as well. And basically with this gun, as long as you're hitting one headshot as well as a body shot, you can get a 2-shot kill, which means your time to kill is actually going to be way faster than any of the full auto guns out there. And even if you aren't hitting that headshot mixed in with the body shot and you manage to get a 3-shot kill to the body, your time to kill is still pretty decent with this gun, especially when you're using the attachment that improves your fire rate. Top that off with the fact that the handling isn't too bad with this gun, and it is really accurate and has a great bullet velocity. And this just makes for a really nice mid to long range sort of a weapon. You can also use it up close, but you've really got to be able to hit that headshot mixed in with a body shot if you want to be competing with the SMGs up close. So yeah, when it comes to longer ranges, while also still maintaining some versatility up close, this is one of my favorite guns for that style of play. But next up on my list, we have an assault rifle, and this is the AK47. The AK47 has the fastest base time to kill out of the assault rifle category at 300 milliseconds. And I've found that even though they've added some recoil from the beta to the AK47, it's still fairly easy to control that recoil, and I generally have no problems with that. And therefore, out of all of the assault rifles, this is so far the one I've found the most success with in the full build of the game. Now, a couple things to be aware of with this gun is it does have the slowest bullet velocity in the assault rifle category, so I would recommend sticking to attachments that improve your bullet velocity. That's going to help the hit detection feel a bit more consistent with this gun. And also, just like with all of the assault rifles, our aim down sight time is pretty slow at 300 milliseconds. So that's another area where I'd recommend looking for attachments that are going to be helping you with your aim down sight time a little bit, so that you can be just a bit more aggressive and versatile with this gun. Aside from that though, this is just a great, consistent, all-around sort of assault rifle, and at this point, it's definitely my favorite AR to use. As for number 3 on my list, this is the AK47U. With this SMG, we have the fastest time to kill out of all of the full auto SMGs at least, at 258 milliseconds, which is very fast for this game. And to top that off, it has a significantly better bullet velocity than all of the other SMGs. It's actually more than double most of the SMGs when it comes to bullet velocity, which again, that's going to lead to a much more consistent feeling hit detection, and it will allow you to challenge people at a bit of a longer range more confidently. Now, there is one downside to this one though, and this is why it's number 3 on the list and not number 2 or number 1, and this is we get assault rifle level aim down sight time with this. So you really want to be making sure you unlock some attachments that improve your aim down sight speed so that it handles more like the other SMGs. But aside from that, I've been finding this thing absolutely shreds people. It's really easy to use, really consistent, and I definitely recommend giving it a go. But with that, let's move on to number 2 on my list, and I actually combined 2 guns together here because they are almost identical statistically. And these 2 guns are the M16 and the AUG. Now these are both tactical rifles and they're 3-round burst guns. As far as I can tell with my testing, they have essentially the same rate of fire within the burst. However, the AUG has a shorter burst delay than the M16. So I personally prefer the AUG a little bit more than the M16. This is also due to the range values. You can see that the AUG actually has better range values than the M16 as well. But if you are comparing between these two, the M16 has a better recoil pattern. There's less horizontal recoil with it, which means you're going to get more consistent one-burst kills. And that's really the key with these guns, is their ability to get a one-burst kill in a game where all of the full auto guns are killing slower than we're normally used to in a Call of Duty game. So with these guns, assuming you are getting a one-burst kill, we're going to be killing people in just 150 milliseconds, which is less than half of the time to kill of most of the full autos in this game. So as long as you're getting those one-burst kills, full auto guns just can't touch you. They can't do anything about that, because you're just going to be killing them instantly. Top that off with the fact that they have great range values, excellent bullet velocity, and they are both quite precise within each one of those bursts. If you're confident with your aim, you're going to be one-bursting people like crazy, and like I said, there's nothing they can really do about that if they're using a full auto. They simply can't compete with your time to kill. Now, the big downside to using burst guns, though, and the reason I didn't put these at number 1, is they're not going to be very forgiving. If you do miss that one burst kill, now your time to kill is going to be quite a bit slower than the average full auto in the game, and they'll likely end up killing you. Also, in really close quarter situations, if you're not already pre-aimed in the right spot, you're going to have a much harder time tracking your targets and making sure you get that one burst kill, which means you just don't have the same sort of versatility as a lot of the full auto guns. But finally, this leaves us with number 1 on my list currently. This is the MP5. I do believe that at this point, the MP5 is the best gun in Black Ops Cold War's regular multiplayer, like the 6v6 multiplayer, partially due to the map design. The map design really does encourage close quarters combat, and with most of the maps that we have in the game right now, you can really easily navigate to make sure that all of your engagements are going to be close quarters. And while the MP5 doesn't kill quite as fast as the AK-74U, it does have the second best time to kill when it comes to full auto SMGs at 280 milliseconds. And that's going to be faster than all of the assault rifles. It's also worth noting that your maximum damage range is double that of the AK-74U. So even though the 74U will beat you at point blank range, your really solid time to kill will extend out to a further distance, which means the MP5 is a more versatile gun than the AK-74U. Top that off with the fact that the MP5 has great handling, really easy to control recoil I've found, and an excellent fire rate, which means it's quite forgiving even if you are missing the shot or two here or there. This just makes it a really good, really versatile SMG that pretty much anybody can pick up and do well with. Now, the one big downside with the MP5 that I wanted to mention here is going to be bullet velocity. This is literally half of the bullet velocity of the AK-74U, and if you are trying to challenge somebody at a bit of a mid to longer range with this, it's going to feel like the hit detection just sucks because your bullet velocity is so slow. So this is going to be another one of those scenarios where you want to be focusing on attachments that improve your bullet velocity, and once you do that, you're going to be unstoppable with the MP5 as long as you can play to its strengths and keep yourself in relatively close quarter situations. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for my current top 5 gun list for Black Ops Cold War at launch. Of course, this list will be changing throughout the year as they make adjustments and they buff guns and nerf guns and new guns are added. So I'll be sure throughout the year to continually update this list and let you guys know at any given time what my top 5 favorite guns are. Now, of course, I'm interested in hearing from you guys. What is your favorite gun to use in Black Ops Cold War based on your experience with it so far? Is it one of the guns that's on my list here, or is it actually something else? Just let me know those thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.